Magnussen and Alex Albon crash.
Man.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
I was about to cuss Magnussen, and you know how much I was cussing him at the start of the season anyway.
I was thinking of you the whole time.
Hey everyone.
So sync clap. No, I'm joking. sorry. Go.
Did you give her sweets?
No.
Oh.
Since the sugar rush.
I'm always just naturally hype.
I know. I was like, did you give you some sort of extra sugar? You look cute, by the way.
You do.
Thanks, guys. Oh, that's nice. Because I was in the office today.
Oh yeah. You make an effort for the office days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try doing that. I'm gonna have to start making a real big effort.
I do not make effort for office days. Oh,
this looks like effort already, and this isn't.
Yeah, because
But she normally looks like this.
Yeah.
This
It's just
like
natural
every day.
effort.
Yeah, this is like a 15-minute makeup look.
Well, good for you. Do you know what? This has nothing to do with Formula One. But as I was saying to Chanise last week, I was having a conversation with my manager, and he stopped me mid-sentence. He says, "Your skin is so fucking clear." What? He was like, "What is going on?" He's
Melanin.
he was like, but he's black as well. He's black as well. He was like, "I bet you've never had a spot," and I was like, "I haven't actually."
So you're God's favourite.
That's not
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
God's favourite right here.
Exactly.
No. Touch wood and touch every kind of wood, because I don't want like adult acne or anything to come and bite me in the ass.
And it is awful. I can't eat dairy at all. Yeah.
My God.
Well, I do eat a little bit, but only a tiny bit.
It's actually true, because every time I have like a mac and cheese or something, I do break out a little bit. And I never used to break out when I was younger.
Yes,
I might actually, but to be fair, I am lactose and I don't care.
Oh.
Just don't sit around me when I eat a mac and cheese, because gets stanky in this bitch. I'm going to tell you that for free.
Speaking of stanking, let's head on over to the Brazilian Grand Prix. So, welcome everyone to Three Black Women talking all things Formula One. Oh,
We're back in the studio.
yay! I was waiting for Chanise to say something because she's so excited.
I am so excited.
She loves studio vibes.
But no, it's because we're all together, and it's so hard to get us all together.
Sure.
And I feel like our vibes are just like, you know, when we're cussing each other out or when we're giving each other praise, it feels even more because we're like here in the room together. It's not like I'm just on Zoom saying, "Oh, Anita, I disagree with." It's nothing. It's not. And now I can be like, "Anita, I disagree."
She's like, say you to my face.
I disagree.
With chest.
yeah, exactly. The chest, and you can see it. It's puffed out. It's running.
Okay. Well,
I don't think we're going to disagree too much though this weekend.
I don't know, because I don't know. We haven't really spoken apart from one comment in the group chat.
There was nothing else to speak about.
There was nothing. There was nothing else to speak about. But honestly, it wasn't giving 2021 vibes. Unfortunately, it was.
Yeah, or even 2022. I enjoy 2022 as well.
Nothing, and I say nothing will match. Hold up, light, camera, action. Nothing will match 2021 vibes. Okay, that was a situation that I would love to just relive, again and again and again, because it was just so elite. But unfortunately, we'll never get back. Anyway, so we had Brazilian Grand Prix this weekend, and you know, this is Lewis's home. It is the country that has basically adopted him as their own. He is a honorary citizen of Brazil. But it wasn't giving anything for Mercedes apart from nightmare.
From disappointment.
It was just not good.
Not just for Mercedes though. There were a lot of teams where it just seemed to be a bit of a nightmare, like Alfa Romeo, Ferrari.
Yeah.
No, do you know what?
Williams.
I will separate Alfa Romeo from Ferrari on this one. Alfa Romeo, they whenever they ever had a really good weekend.
So I'm so glad you said this actually, Anita, because what I was thinking the other day, I thought, right, this particular race, I'm really gonna watch Alfa Romeo because I realised
You have to
they
watch for
had-
too long.
Well, yeah, well,
Why?
but no. Well, this was it, right? When I was running down in my head, no notes, and bear in mind, obviously, we've watched every race this season. I could recall every team apart from Alfa Romeo, and even though I was like, okay, so we've got Zhou Jianyu, we've got Bottas. What team are they again? And for Aiden, you know how my brain's just confetti anyway.
Oh,
But
you
for
forgot.
ages, I was racking my brain. I was thinking, it's not Alpine, and I just couldn't get it. And I thought, and then I realised, apart from at the start of this season, like Bottas and Zhou we don't really talk about them that much, and they've never been my star boy. They've never been my should have stayed at home, which means there's something going on, something going wrong.
Yeah.
So I had already made a mental note to be like, right, this week can we talk about Alfa Romeo? But it turns out that they both DNF'd anyway, so now we're going to have to talk about them.
But before we get there,
Yeah.
we need to talk about the start of the race first.
Formation lap. Before the start of the race.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm not going to go over the whole sprint weekend business of what happened, because there were so many races within the race weekend, as in qualifying, sprint weekend, sprint shootout, all of that. Like, the race itself was just enough for me, to be honest with you. So formation lap, everyone knows you do this before, like, you actually get into the actual proper race, and Charles Leclerc crashes out. So I'm at work at this point.
He's not even racing, by the way. Like, it's just the formation. There is no race at this point. The race hasn't even started. There's no 5 green lights. Away we go. Like,
Nothing. There's no hype. There's nothing. Like, I was watching this on my phone at work over the weekend. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? I had to watch it back because I was like, babes, how have you hydraulic issue? I get it. Like, he's a steering wheel situation. Conspiracy.
I know. I have an announcement.
Did you before you announce it? Did you hear what Charles said when he crashed out?
What did he say?
Yes.
Something about his luck. I have the worst fucking luck.
Yeah,
I have the worst fucking
no,
luck.
I did. I wonder if anybody else picked up on that as well. I did, and I was like, "Oh, Charles, you really do, though. It feels like
does.
me. I have that sort of bad luck too."
He does. And
Sorry, what were you going to say?
It wasn't a hydraulic issue. It
When
was
have-
a steering failure issue.
Really?
But even so, like, that's not his fault still.
Are
and
we
again,
sure?
well,
Steering failure seems a bit like he did
Did-
a little bit wrong incorrectly.
Anita is basically trying to say it wasn't a car issue, it was a him issue.
I'm just.
well, I think you are right though, because I forgot in the post interview he did say, "Oh, actually, it wasn't what we all thought it was. We're just going through."
Okay,
it
so they have clarified this since then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thank you. Okay, sorry to clear that up. Okay, cool. Because when I first it was reported, it was a hydraulic thing, but
I
Exactly.
since
just
then,
googled it and I was thinking, because I remember from the post race interview, and
Also
he
in football
was like,
mode.
I'm in football mode. Listen, Chelsea Spurs are playing soon, please. But in the post race interview, he was like how it wasn't a hydraulic issue, but he doesn't want to speak on it, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
And I'm like,
speak on it.
maybe it's embarrassment because
A couple of teams embarrassed this weekend, but anyhow.
well, maybe they
Charles,
just didn't
but-
confirm it yet.
my thing is, in a formation lap, there's not much that you can do to make
Jesus.
yourself crash out like that
Oh,
because
wow.
you're not going full speed. You are just warming up your
So
tires.
it's just a warm
warming
around.
up your brakes. That's
It's just
it.
it's like basically doing a jog before
I
you do a
just
sprint.
can't
Yeah.
see that he would swerve his car into the barrier
But
like that.
Shanice, he's
that
done
enough?
it before.
Is that enough?
He's done
In the
it
formation,
before.
it doesn't make any sense. Like, there must have been some sort of issue. It couldn't have all been him.
Okay, maybe not all him, but I think he
mean,
had.
I saw the
There was
smoke
nobody
from
who
his
was in the
tires
race
before
with him.
he actually went into the barrier, and I was like, "Oh, is he locking up?" Because that's what normally happens when you look. Like, you'll get the smoke from the tire, and that is like a driver error. Like, that's what you do. But I was like, "What happened here?"
Yeah, I actually missed that bit because I went to the toilet because I thought, oh, the
Because
race
it's a
hasn't started.
formation lap, like you don't
I
expect
was thinking, oh,
nothing.
I'll be ready and back for lap 1, and I was in the bathroom. My boyfriend was like, Chanise, and I was like, what? And he was like, Charles has crashed the car. I was like, wait, what? Has it started? I'm trying to jump up. And then he's like, no, it hasn't started. I'm like, what?
Bruh.
Had to go back into the room. Like, what is going
Sis,
on?
I was warming my food. I was actually warming my food, and I'm hearing from the TV, "Oh, who's that? Who's that in the barrier?" I was like, "What?" I'm like, formation lap was just starting. What's going on? I get back in. I see Charles in the, and
It
the
had to
saddest
be
thing
Charles,
about
didn't
it,
it?
the saddest thing about it all is that he could have driven back to the pit lane. He could have driven back to the pit lane. He could have got his tires fixed.
With his car in the state it was.
It wasn't in that much of a bad. He needed a new wing and new tires. That's it. His car was not in that much of a bad state, but he chose because he reversed it out. And he chose to abandon his car. And then when the red flag came in the first lap,
man.
he was running back to his car.
Yeah, but once
thinking
you get
something
out,
happened.
once you get out your car,
That's
you,
it.
that's it.
That's
you are not allowed
it.
to get back in.
He should have dragged that thing back to the pit lane and he
Yeah, but
would have had a race.
He wasn't going to know, though, that red flag was coming.
No, but he should know not in those situations. Like, assess it. Can I drive back? Yes or no. Like, don't get out your car. Because remember when George Russell did that when Zoe Granu crashed at Silverstone, and although George's car was a little bit damaged, George could actually have driven back, but because he got the car, they were like, you can't restart the race. You can't get back in the race.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, like, what if there was just debris that would have fallen off his car and so, you know, I don't know. I think it was too close to call. Like,
That's where you bring in a safety car. But then anyway, so
Yeah,
actually,
yeah,
lap
true,
one,
actually.
lap one does start eventually.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah, so we get
I
into lap.
forget that.
Yeah, we actually do get into lap one, and then Kevin Magnussen and Alex Albon crash,
Man,
and I was like,
I
oh my gosh.
was about to cuss Magnussen, and you know how much I was cussing him at the start of the season anyway.
I was thinking of you the whole time.
Because Alex is, you know, I've got such a soft spot for Alex as well. He didn't do nothing. And you know how last week, Simone, you were saying how 3 into 1. It doesn't make it. That's what that even the commentators were saying. Where did Magnussen think he was going, like 3 into 1? Like, how is he going to squeeze Alex and then Nico Hulkenberg? How is he going to squeeze all these?
The thing is, I didn't even think it was anyone's fault at that point because Nico, he kind of had to. He had to lift a little bit to let Alex through. Let Alex through. He tagged Alex, and then Magnussen was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was just like, well.
Yeah, but Magnussen was squeezing them in too much. That was the issue. When they were doing like all the analysis afterwards and they were drawing, okay, yeah, it was quite a thin line, but he was like, you know, here's the line. Magnussen should have moved over this way to give them all a bit of space.
I know.
It was hilarious, but that crash caused almost a domino effect for other people because Daniel's car got damaged, Oscar's car got damaged, and then that was
George's car damaged. Oh no, that was an engine.
Yeah, and then that caused a red flag. Now you know sometimes I do love a red flag because I've got stuff going on, and this.
I thought of you, Simone. I thought, has Simone asked again once more for a red flag for a race delay? In that moment.
Yes, because at that point I was running from the truck to get the train in Crewe because it was Crewe, Alexander and Derby FA Cup. That's where I was. And I was like, I need to get this train. And I was like, I could do with a little bit of a delay just to get me to the train station, just to get me on the train because I knew I was going to lose signal. Anyway,
every time there's a red flag or some sort of race delay, we even said this last week. Simone has said in the ether somewhere, I could really do with a little delay on this race. Boom! Now every Donny's crashing everywhere.
Simone's prayers be working. They be working.
I need to start praying for some stuff for myself. God, please.
or
pray for me too.
Yeah. Or for Mercedes to start winning again. Something. You know?
Forget Mercedes. Bring me a millionaire.
They need more than a prayer.
They need deliverance.
They need more than prayer. Anyway, this red flag claim came and it was just like, I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? So Daniel's car, hold on, before I even get to Daniel and Oscar's car, did anyone see the tyre that came off K-Mag's car? And the tyre just blowing in the
I ain't even gonna lie, that tyre was on a mission, and the mission was to kill Ricardo.
Oh
Because Ricardo really had to duck. He
The
had
tyre
to
just
duck.
bounced. The tyre just bounced off his wing. I said, wow, baby.
That tyre had a mission. I'll tell you that for free.
Anyway, that restart, decent. When I saw, right, Lando catching up to flipping Max Verstappen, yeah, setting fastest lap, almost about to overtake. I said, Lando, what do you have for breakfast, Bab?
Before we talk about the restart, can we talk about the little faith that we had when Lewis overtook both Master Martin?
Oh, yes.
Because, you know, I was sick, right? So I jumped out of bed. I was like, come on, Lewis. You see Lance Stroll and Alonso just drifting backwards. And I'm like, come on, Lewis. And anyway, then the restart happens and reality kicked in.
Yes, very short. Very short-lived anyhow. But yeah, man, your boy Lando, because I know you love him. I was like, fastest lap, Lando, for a good while. Yeah. Let me tell you, the crowd were loving it. I heard them cheering when he was about to nearly overtake, but you know, he had to pull out of that because it just wouldn't happen. And Max was like, hey, I'm big dog here.
Just even the fight between them as well. I can't even remember what lap it was on, but basically, I think it was like around about lap 8 or something, where Max and Norris were basically like fighting between them all. And obviously, we know Max is going to lead, but Lando was really giving him a run for his money. I was kind of like, come on.
I wasn't impressed.
Fastest lap.
I wasn't impressed.
Why?
If Lando was a serious driver,
McLaren versus a Red Bull.
No, I'm not hearing it. If you're a serious driver, at lap 7, you are overtaking Verstappen. He had Verstappen
get DRS,
weaving.
Get DRS.
Nah,
get DRS.
Because we're saying that he's in the McLaren. McLaren was the fastest car all weekend. You are if that was Lewis in that McLaren, he's overtaking Verstappen. It may not be for the longest while.
You maintain it though, yeah.
But that's the thing. It may not be for the longest while, But you can give your team a chance to give you the best strategy and the best shot at winning that race.
What race was it? Was it the last race or the race before where Lando was leading for like 15 laps or something?
I can't remember that.
It wasn't Mexico. It wasn't Mexico. What was
Texas.
Was it Texas? Where there was one race where Lando was leading for like 15, 16 laps. It was this big thing. And I genuinely think it is the car. Like I think he has the I think he as a driver can lead the race.
Do you know what, Chanise? The reason why I'm not hearing it is, does Piastri have 2 heads? Did Piastri not win a sprint? Was Max not faster than Piastri on that weekend?
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Come on, man.
Fair enough.
I think Lando needs to digest and download that dog in him because he hasn't got it right now.
It's so funny you saying that because I was going to say, well, we've spoken about it before. The racing drivers have just got to have that dog energy.
He needs it. Yeah. And you know, once he downloads it, he's a bloody good driver.
Yeah, he's very good.
Once he downloads that, sky's the limit for him. And the thing is, he's only going to do it once Oscar wins a proper race. Because if Oscar wins a proper race,
then he's going to be like, shit, I've got to.
Then he's going to step up.
I feel like since Oscar winning the sprint, though, he has been a bit better. Like, you know.
Yeah,
100. A bit better.
Do you know what? Oscar winning the sprint race was a wake-up call for Lando. Yeah. If Oscar wins a real race,
it's game over.
Will get downloaded. Yeah. It will get downloaded.
This whole thing between, like,
because he's got to be sick of coming second or third, surely. He's got to be sick of it. You have to win a race now.
Like he's got the car
he looked
now.
a bit bored actually on Sunday. Like
he said it.
Yeah, he looked a bit bored. I was thinking, oh man, you've just come second? Oh, that's so good. Blah blah blah.
It's lonely at the top,
and
man.
Yeah, and then it was kind of like, oh, but he just got out and he just wandered off and carried on.
He was like, whatever.
No excitement or anything. Just kind of like, oh,
it's lonely.
Because he knows what probably could have been. But anyway, some points that I picked up on. Listen, Mercedes needs to sort the situation out with George and Lewis because I am sick. I'm sick to my back teeth of this boy. George is on radio asking, are we working together? Or are we just like working against them? What's the strategy?
I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoy George's sassiness. Like, he asked so many rhetorical questions. And I was like,
I don't even think it was rhetorical though, because then the guy in the ear was like, "We're just trying to confirm that," and I was thinking,
you don't know strategy. You didn't have morning meeting this morning. I'm confused.
I was more just thinking, wait a minute. So you are saying that there is a potential that they are actually working against each other here, which I don't think you should ever like announce.
But the thing is, it's not even like they're working against each other. It's more of Lewis is managing his tyres. You already knew from the get-go this was going to happen. I feel like everybody knew from the sprint race that Lewis was going to manage his tyres.
He even said this on radio. I'm trying to manage my tyres.
Everyone knew Lewis is going to manage his tyres. So, George, what is your role in this situation? You know your role. Stay within DRS range.
Yeah, defend the people at the back. Stay close to Lewis.
Stay close to Lewis. And then George was out of DRS several times, and it's like, you keep saying you want to overtake Lewis and you got more pace. Why aren't you staying within DRS? You got to stay within DRS and not look like a fool. And unfortunately, he didn't. And then he comes with the question, are we working together or are we working separately here? And then he was like, I was silent for a reason or something like that. When he was silent on radio, he was like, I was hoping my silence would make you guys ask some questions.
Is this therapy? Is this therapy? What are we doing here?
Clearly, I've got the pace. And it's like, if you've got the pace, stay within DRS. Stay within. And if you want to keep silent for 20 good laps, make a move. Make a move on Lewis, and let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes. Because from that moment, I was just thinking, you're not fast enough. If you were fast enough, you would have done something.
You had to stay with DRS because look what happened because you didn't. Perez was able to overtake you.
So, yeah, but pretty much everyone started overtaking them by the end of it. So maybe that's why he couldn't play in DRS either.
Get my goat a proper car.
Please.
Please, God.
Please.
I don't think I can go another weekend where everyone is overtaking Lewis Hamilton.
It's disrespectful. It's actually disrespectful.
Do you know what really killed me this weekend? When Yuki Tsunoda overtook Lewis.
That's how you know things are bad.
And you know what? Big up Yuki, because obviously he's not a terrible driver or whatever. But for him to overtake Lewis, my heart bled.
I know.
It bled on the floor. Get him the car. I beg you in the name of God. That's all I'll say.
Please, please, please. So Mercedes this weekend was absolutely terrible. Like, if it wasn't for like the good vibes of Brazil and them loving Lewis, they might as well just not been there. Because what did you bring to this race? Absolutely nothing.
They finished 8th and a D on DNF.
There were 6
'cause I was
cars
just
out.
having a look at that actually. Yeah, I was trying to remind myself where they all finish, and Russell's DNF. Yeah.
So we had the two Alfa Romeos of Zoe and Bottas out, and then
We need to talk about Alfa Romeo.
go on, because I know
No, okay, we don't have to do it now. Well,
No,
at
we
some
can.
point, we
Get-
really
no.
do need to talk about Alfa Romeo because when I noticed that they'd never been, I should have stayed at home. They'd never been my star boy, and that's when I realised we hardly ever talk about them on the podcast. So I already made a mental note to be like, right, okay, this weekend we need to talk about them. And look what happened. Both of them didn't finish anyway, so here we are. But Anita, was it you who was saying it was something to do with their engine?
Who? Alfa Romeo.
Don't they have Ferrari's
Apparently.
engine?
Exactly,
They have
their
Ferrari's
Ferrari's engine,
engine.
exactly. And then with the issues that Charles was having as well, I just feel like at the moment, Charles, the car, the driver, whoever, I do feel like if you're going to buy like parts or whatever off a different company, it needs to be, I mean, I guess everyone assumes that Ferrari's going to be the pinnacle, it's the one, but actually, after seeing their performance for the last couple of seasons in F1, I wouldn't have bought an engine from them. I just don't know why.
I would have changed supplier.
I don't know why, like, you would rely on it. Like, unless, if it's Mercedes, like, back then, fair enough. But I don't think other than Red Bull, I don't think I'm buying parts from, like, a lot of the races.
And Red Bull get theirs from Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Japan. Let's go to Honda.
Yeah.
Because I ain't buying parts
Build it
from
yourself.
nobody.
Exactly. It just feels like, I don't know why you would have trusted that. And I guess they kind of just have to. And it's to do with budgets as well. But still, you're already setting your car up to fail, I believe.
Everybody go get your own engines. Enough is enough. And do you know what's really bad?
What?
The 2 Aston Martins and the freaking McLaren all have Mercedes engines. And they all overtook Lewis.
It's actually
overtook him.
embarrassing.
Do you know what? And they said that they rode their car higher than they would have normally because of what happened in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so why don't you guys put all your heads together, all of your smart heads together?
Because you're geniuses over there,
Right,
apparently.
you're geniuses. You're absolute geniuses. Put all of your heads together and make it so that the plank doesn't wear. Why don't you do that instead? No, they didn't. They wanted to just ride it higher. Everything that we do is just mediocre. I'm fed up. Fed up. Red Bull don't have 2 heads. They don't. I'm fed up. McLaren, they don't have 2 heads. I'm fed up.
Speaking
I'm
of
over
Red
it.
Bull, though, check out Perez.
Oh my God. The whole race. There isn't one race where I have been rooting for Perez more than this one.
Honestly.
This guy was driving as if his life depended on it.
It did.
So much so, I feel like he was putting his life on the line to race this race. Honestly, so many moments I'm screaming at my TV, and I don't know whether we're cutting it too short, but just to go quickly to that battle with Alonso at the end. Oh my God. I was screaming, defend, overtake. And it was going on for about 6 laps. And then when he finally did overtake, I think in lap 70, and I was like, oh, thank God, right, he's got it,
But he didn't put away fast enough.
Exactly. And then lap 71,
Alonso says, do you know who I am?
Who's come from back?
I'm so sorry. Checker should be embarrassed.
I feel really bad for him.
I feel really bad for him.
I'm done feeling bad for him.
Yeah, but Alonso is a brilliant driver, though. We do have to respect that, he is going up against Alonso, who's a brilliant driver as well.
He's a big man.
No.
Alonso is a big man.
Yeah. But he's got a lot of experience. I know Checo's got a lot of experience, but you know what I mean? Kind of like everyone was saying, Alonso. Everyone believed Alonso was going to get it because of the fact he's a good driver with a lot of experience.
Do you know what? Checo put himself in that position because when he was battling with George, there were so many times where he could have just made a move and he chose not to. George's DRS wasn't opening for about 2 laps, and Checo still didn't want to overtake this guy. I'm just okay. Well, at that point, I said that's gonna cost you.
Yeah.
At the end of it, that's gonna cost you, and it did. Because when it got to Lewis Hamilton, it still took him about 2 laps to overtake Lewis. But I'm looking at Lewis like this is dead rubber. I'm looking at Lewis like Lewis looks like breakfast right now.
Yeah.
You could have overtaken him much earlier, and I put it down to Max would have overtaken him a lot earlier in the race.
Absolutely.
And that's why when it got to the last lap and he was fighting with Alonso, I was like, do you think you're gonna overtake Alonso and he's gonna have it? No way.
Yeah, he's gonna get you back.
No way. He's gonna get you back. Trust me. It was after the first corner, after that DRS zone, I was like, Alonso's gonna get you in the second one. Checo goes wide in the second.
That was
the
it.
Thing is,
the wide bit.
I have played that circuit on F1 so many times because it was my favourite circuit to play on F1. Once you go wide at that second corner, you are finished. Everybody knows you are finished because the DRS comes not too long after. Alonso, he's clicked his cool DRS button like ding, overtaking the Red Bull. And I'm thinking, do you think you're going to fight Alonso, 2-time world champion, to the end?
Forget
about it. You've done it. Forget about it. It may have gone to the wire, but I just knew it was going to be Alonso.
Well, I did see afterwards that Checo did say how it was, even though he lost it against Alonso, it was an enjoyable experience.
He should enjoy his experience. He's going soon.
This isn't work experience, though. This is the thing.
Thank you.
This isn't work experience.
Thank you.
You actually have to do you need to do the job, because although I didn't watch post interviews, I did hear that Christian Horner had said, oh, you know, he said, oh, he's really proud of Checo, blah blah. But really deep down, he's thinking, you have to you should be securing this, because obviously, you know we got Las Vegas coming up, and then we've got Abu Dhabi, and you know Mercedes aren't going to be putting up a fight against Perez, as in Lewis and Perez aren't going to be fighting for second. It's going to be really Perez, but it's his for the taking. Like, you have to just go and get this now. But you know full well Christian Horner was sat there thinking, yo, if that was Max, it would have been, that situation would have been sold up a long time ago.
I feel like Christian Horner means it. Like, I feel like he actually wants Checo to do well. It's not him I'm worried about. It's Helmut Marko. Helmut Marko, did you see the way he cussed Yuki Tsunoda last week?
What did he say?
He was talking about how Yuki made 3 mistakes and Daniel didn't make any. And I was just like, you think Helmut Marko is saying, yeah, that was a great racing between Checo and Alonso? No, Helmut Marko is saying what I'm saying right now. He should have overtaken George a lot earlier, Hamilton a lot earlier, and he would have been in that position in the last thing of the race.
I want to hear Helmut Marko say that to Yuki's face.
The thing is, he probably already has. I feel like if there's one person that Yuki's probably scared of, it's Helmut Marko.
Really?
I feel like the whole grid is scared of Helmut Marko. That man is scary.
Oh my God. I want him to say it on race day over the radio and see what Yuki's response is, because he's going to tell him to fuck off.
He will tell him to fuck off.
He will be like, fuck off.
And then he will lose his seat.
In the post-race interview, Alonso, I did see Alonso say, like, that we're not doing that again. He said to press, we ain't doing that again. I'm tired. I'm too old for this. Too old for this back and forth.
You know what? He had a good time, but it's sad. I really wanted Perez to get it. I really, really did.
Well, he needs to want to get it himself.
He needs, and you know what? I say this with so much love because I love Checo. You guys know at the start of the season, I was like, I want to be rooting for Checo this season.
Yeah.
Like, I love Checo to pieces, but he needs to want it, and he needs to not let things get into his head, because he's a grown man.
It's hard, though, when he's got that sort of external pressure. Like, Daniel Ricciardo was talking about this in an interview, actually, where, because they were like, oh, are we going to take the Red Bull seat? Oh, what do you think about the Red Bull seat, Daniel? And he's like, look, as much as I would love to drive in a Red Bull again, you all know that I would. Actually, I've been on the other side of that. I've been on the side where it's all that negative energy and everyone thinks that you're rubbish and everyone tells you not to turn up to work or whatever. He's been through that, so he doesn't ever want to kind of slander or talk about somebody else or another driver in that way. So, you know, and there's all those extra pressures as well that the drivers are facing, and particularly Checo, because there is so many people who would take that seat. But not even people on the grid. You've got to think about all these rookies who will want a chance.
But you know what? Like, I sympathise with him. I really do. But
with Checo?
Yeah, with Checo. I sympathize, but as a champion and having a champion mentality, you got to download that mentality when you want to take that second Red Bull seat. And he knew that from the day that he signed his contract. And if it's someone like, I'm not saying that I would survive in a Red Bull seat, but if it's me and another person in the same job role, and that person's doing exceedingly well against me, right, and I'm being pressured left, right, and center, I will level the fuck up. Like I would
You have
level.
to.
Like,
But
I'll
that's
do
because you
everything.
have that dog energy.
Yeah,
whereas
exactly. Checo needs to
Perez-
download that, because the thing is, like, at the start of the season, was he not saying that he's coming for the championship? Where did that dog energy go? Turn into a puppy? No,
It
you can't-
disappeared.
You can't turn into a puppy against Max Verstappen. You can't do it.
I feel like though there is so much more going on that just we can't tap into. Do you know what I mean? All this
Absolutely.
stuff
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Do you know what I mean? That's happening behind the scenes. Because I always find it interesting that these drivers are cussing each other out on the grid, and then you see them on a yacht together like a week later. And I'm kind of like, wait a minute, weren't you guys cussing each other out last week? And I don't know if it's because they think, oh, what happens on the track stays on the track. That's that. Or I just feel like there's something else going on, you know, like behind the scenes that we're just not privy to, and we just, you know.
But you know what that I love and I hate about F1 today, yeah? Is that everyone's too buddy-buddy. I don't know if I like it. I don't
A
know.
lot of people are too polite. I'm not
They're
here for the
too
politeness.
buddy-buddy, yeah, I'm not here for it. Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can only have one world champion when it comes to it, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like, obviously, Max has been a great driver, and I'll never take that away from him. But everyone on the grid, they're too polite to him. They're way too polite.
You need
When
to be
Lu-
rude.
Yeah, when Lewis
Well,
was
he's
racing when Max is rude, but no one else
rude.
is.
He's rude, and he's rude to them.
When Lewis was racing in the McLaren, right? No one was giving him an easy ride.
It was abuse, left,
Like-
right, and center.
Bass balls. No one, even Alonso, no one was giving Alonso an easy ride. And it's like everyone on this grid, they're too friendly with one another. And it's like, you got to be a bitch sometimes. And that's what I look at Lando. And I'm like, if Lando had that dog in him, he would have overtaken Max and made life a flipping nightmare for Max. Max would have still won, but make his life a living nightmare. And even in 2021, when Max was going for the championship, how many drivers just opened their nyash and let Max just drive through them? 2022, was it not the same thing? 2023 again, like once Checo started catching some points, were the drivers not opening their nyash and letting Max just drive? Like, you can't keep letting this happen. Obviously, it's nice to see that everyone's friends. It's nice to see that everyone's friendly. But it is a competition. And this competition needs more people like George. Because I know if George... No, it's true. It's true. If George was in Checo's seat, Max would not be living right now. Max would have lost his shit.
I would, you know how we were saying
Max would mute
about-
his radio. He'd be like, George, mute. Mute, can't hear. Got him.
Like, George will be on Max's shoulder like a flea. Like, don't think you understand.
Do you
like,
remember who we were saying that? Oh, we don't know who could take that. Like Checo's the other.
George will take
Having
it.
said that,
George.
if I could see George in Red Bull, I think I would love to see that. I think I really would.
Do you think
His strategies would kill me against. They'd be like, oh no, Max is number one. He's like, who? No, I'm number one. He's just coming in with his own strategy. I've got my
Bro.
strategy. Don't worry, I'll be number one.
And you know what? I strongly believe that George gives Lewis the amount of respect, yeah, that he would give to any other driver.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Max, I feel like George, the respect would be on the floor, because he'll be like,
Bottom barrel.
Like, me and Max came up together. I am a world champion in F2. Max ain't. So you better give me the strategies.
Yeah.
He will go in there and be like, give me the motherfucking strategies that work for all of us. And George will take that seat and he will become the number one driver. And him and Max, boy, he won't care about that friendship. He won't
What
give
friendship?
a damn.
But I'd be
then-
here
What friendship?
for it.
Let's be real. They be friendly. When it comes to the cool down rooms,
Yeah.
they be friendly.
I'm sure it was at the start of the season where I was saying, oh, I don't like this team on team. I don't want to call it not violence. This team on team. That's a bit bad.
Violence.
You know what I mean? This team on team defending everyone hating on the team on. You know, everyone within the team just having a. And I remember like being like, oh, you know, I just wish Checo and Max would get on or whatever. But actually, the one relationship I would want to see is kind of like not crumble, but you know, be a bit of separation would be George and Max. I think I would really enjoy the drams on the track.
And
'Cause
Red
I
Bull
think-
will love it.
Yeah.
Listen,
They would love it.
I'm not gonna lie.
But he
For
needs some
once-
challenging though.
He needs a
Yeah,
challenge.
for once this time, I am excited for Drive to Survive. I actually, I'm not even a fan, but I just want to see what has been happening behind said scenes.
I want to see what's been happening at Haas.
Nothing.
Yeah, well,
Nothing.
No.
It's nothing, Chanise.
But exactly, but because they're obviously not great, there's always like a bit of drama there where they're like,
you want to see what's been happening
and the money and the
nothing. They ain't been doing shit, Chanise. They ain't been doing shit over at Haas.
But do you know what is so mad? Haas will still get an episode in Drive to Survive.
Absolutely.
And I do love it. I'm just like, oh, these guys, I just don't know when they're going to sort themselves out.
Gunther Steiner is Haas. Like, I don't think Haas will exist still if it wasn't for that man. That man is.
I honestly do think they need to switch up somewhere, but it can't be Gunther. Even though it really should be, it can't be.
It can't be Gunther. It can't be. Gunther is literally the legs of that team. Like, he's holding them up. It can't be.
Should have stayed at home.
My should have stayed at home was actually I don't know if you'll agree, but I'm going to go with Alfa Romeo as a whole. Double DNF, which you already know I don't like. Bottas, I already have. I wouldn't say a vendetta against, but he's.
Jesus God, you know I don't like a double DNF. You know I don't like that.
I know I don't like that. But also, Bottas is one of these drivers where I have previously had to cuss him out quite a few times. And yeah, Zhu, we just don't really talk about you. And I don't know. I think you need to be giving something. You know, they're just not giving. And so I made a point of if they don't perform at least something this week, then I'll have to talk about them. But the fact that they both didn't finish is just like, okay, you guys are out for me. You shouldn't have turned up to work because you basically didn't turn up to work.
Anita, who's yours?
Toto.
Okay, that's fair.
Not even Mercedes, it's just
Toto. Toto sat in his chair with zero emotion. That man, he was literally like this the whole time.
I think he
was waiting for it to end.
I think he would rather have been in surgery.
He would have rather been in surgery. He was waiting for that race to end. And when Lewis just kept slipping back. There was even one point, where Bono was like, Lewis, you can use your tyres now.
And he was like, he laughed. Lewis laughed on the radio, was like, that's what I've been doing, duh.
I'm using my tyres. That's when I knew, Mercedes is finished.
They're done. They're so
finished.
done.
Because sometimes Lewis, he likes to pretend sometimes. He'll be like, oh, guys, my tyres are gone. And then he'll be like, okay, Lewis, you can use your tyres now. Lewis laughed.
He was like,
what
do you think I've been doing for the past goddamn how long?
And then you just see Toto straight face. Toto's like, there's nothing to laugh about here.
This is not funny.
Serious.
Toto should have stayed at home. Did you see his post-race interview as well with Ted?
No. When Ted asked him about 2011. No, not 2011. 2021.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he asked him about 2021.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
Maybe there was two different.
Maybe there was.
Maybe it was the qualifying one when he asked him about it, and Toto was like, "We're not thinking about the past."
No, I'm thinking this was straight after the race, and normally you don't really see the team principals unless the person's won. You see Christian Horner every fucking week.
Of course,
but
we do.
Toto just he was in his Mercedes when they have their little paddock bit.
Yeah.
Ted was outside the paddock bit, and then he caught Toto, and then Toto was like, his face was straight. He did not say nothing positive. Wow. He was just like, I don't know. There's nothing positive
to say.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't know what's happened to the car. I don't know how we could have been so fast last week. And then this week, we're struggling in 8th. And he was just like, next year, he's ready for next year's car already. He wants the season to be over kind of thing. And he was just so downtrodden. And I was just like, this has been you this entire weekend. You should have stayed at home.
I was reading about this interview actually because he was basically he went on to say, or maybe he said separately, but he was like that the car doesn't actually deserve to be a winner.
Yeah, that's the interview I watched. Yeah,
and I was like, wow, that cuts deep. Even as the team principal, when we don't deserve it.
Yeah. No,
that's
you don't.
When you know it's serious.
That's when you know the car's shit. Throw the whole thing in the bin.
Do you know what's so crazy? The W13 was worse than this car, and it still got a win. It's not just the car. It's the strategy.
It's everything.
It's the people
on the whole. It's the whole thing.
And do you know what really pissed me off in this race? Last week, Texas, even though Lewis got disqualified, whatever, Lewis should have won the race if the pit stops were correct.
Yeah. And it was their strategy that effed everything up.
Right. This week, their pit stop was 1 second quicker, and then Lewis is complaining that his right side doesn't feel like it's on properly.
Oh, yeah.
Are you taking the piss?
Yeah.
Something has to give. You cannot beat 8-time world champions, yeah. Obviously, Mercedes are 8-time world champions. You can't be 8-time world champions and be making these fugazi mistakes like that.
It's silly.
Like, it doesn't add up. Like 1 + 1 isn't equaling 2 at the moment. And obviously they've gotten rid of, was it Mike Elliott?
Yeah,
Gotten
do you
rid
say
of.
got rid of? I think it's just leaving. The way you say got rid of,
guys,
like they whacked him. He's like, he's gone.
We need to keep it a buck. We know what it's like in these in corporate offices.
Oh my
That
gosh.
man was asked to leave.
Oh my
Let's keep it real. He made several mistakes with the W13.
Another one.
Made mistakes with the
Anita's
W14.
conspiracy theory.
Nah,
I know.
do you know what? I just think that's facts because you can't make those 2 big mistakes, yeah, with the cars, yeah. Go against what Lewis wanted for the cars and
And
produce
look what you delivered.
2 shit cars for 8-time world driver champions. Nope. That man was asked to leave, and he said yes, no problem. No one can tell me otherwise. He was asked to leave, but it just doesn't make sense to me as to how bad this car has gotten when they were fighting for a win last week. This week they're fighting for 8th.
That's
Lord
disgusting.
knows, you're going to Las Vegas, and you know Lewis loves a USA Grand Prix.
Yeah, but
He
have you
loves
seen
it.
the track for Las Vegas?
It is
Straight.
Red Bull.
It is straight lines, left, right, and centre.
And was Mercedes not losing 1 to 2 seconds on every other car
It was
on
ridiculous.
the straights?
So
My God, I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
I'm just
not
gonna see. I'm
watch.
just
You
there
have
to
to
see who's
watch
there.
it. Yeah, exactly. All the celeb catching.
Do you?
That's what Chanise
I'll
is.
watch the grid walk.
Yeah.
I'll watch the grid walk.
Yeah.
And the
I ain't watching the
formation lap.
race.
You watch the formation. Something could happen there. You never know. This week it did.
I feel like if something happens in a formation lap, yeah, I'll lose my mind.
But
I'll lose my mind.
imagine if it was 2 weeks in a row. No, it's like, has it ever happened before?
Yeah, Yuki.
Yeah.
Yuki broke down a couple of weeks ago on a formation lap. And
I think this was this year as well.
Yeah, it was this year.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
last one,
But like, has
a couple of
anyone
races
like
ago.
crashed?
I've seen it happen. I
I
can't remember
can't
who,
remember
but I've
what.
seen
in the
it
day,
happen.
probably.
I've
Yeah.
seen that happen.
Why should have stayed at home is Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Charles.
Okay.
And I'm giving it to Charles, obviously, because you had an accident on the formation lap. Whether we're putting this down to driver error or putting it down to car...
I'm sorry. I'm not buying whatever Charles is trying to sell. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry.
And for those listening, that was Anita doing air quotes when I said car failure or driver error, like whatever the situation was. Just when he got on the radio after, he was like, "I have the worst fucking luck. Like I have the worst luck."
I thought that was so sad. I was actually really sad when he said that.
I laughed.
I related so hard. I was like, Charles, man, I get it, man.
I
know what
thought it was
reminded
Some
funny.
people just don't catch a break.
Do you know what it reminded me of? You see the Gordon Ramsay. What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
That's exactly what it reminded me of, and I was like, boy. It was, you know, when George.
Imagine walking up to Charles and he's sitting in his car.
What are you? Same vibe for George in Singapore, you know, when George just randomly crashed 3 laps to go. And you're crashing under pressure.
Oh,
Under
no,
pressure.
that was so
He was like-
awful.
From Lando.
He was like, what am I, an idiot? What am I, a rookie?
Yes.
An idiot sandwich. That is what you are, an idiot sandwich.
Oh god, that was so funny. And was it last race that they were saying, "Oh, you know what George is
Yes, it was
like.
the
You
last
know
one,
what
yeah.
George is like when
They
he's
were-
under
They
pressure."
were basically waiting. Their strategy was just waiting for George to make a mistake.
And we're talking about McLaren here, talking about George making a mistake.
Yeah, they were trying to tell. I think it was Lando to like, don't worry about it. The ease, like it's gonna be okay. Like George is in front of you, sort of thing. Like, yeah,
It's true.
he's gonna make a mistake.
Why does you crash under pressure like that? Like, I don't
I think he
get
was
it.
too excited.
That mad, yeah.
But again, that comes with more experience, you know. Like he's not gonna
It
do that again. I
does.
don't think.
Oh, do you know one thing I like about George? Yeah, he gonna make one mistake. He ain't gonna make that mistake again.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna do it again.
Yeah, he does learn from his lessons,
He
but
will
he's
learn.
like a little
But
school
he doesn't
teacher on
learn
that
to
bloody
stop
radio.
making strategies. He'll always make strategies
Of his
He-
own?
Yeah, of his own.
He's literally in the car, just like coming up with it, like he's got a notebook or something. Like, this is what we're doing, and I'm telling you.
Honestly, I would believe it though, because when he was like, "Oh, I just watched the replay back," I'm thinking, "You've been driving this all. What do you mean
Oh,
you've watched
no.
the replay?"
And this is why I respect the drivers so much. You know, they sometimes watch the TVs.
What when they're going?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think that's so mental.
I think it's terrible.
Do you know how fast you're driving?
Your life is on the
Focus
line.
on the road.
Your life is on the line, and then you're chuckling at what you see on the screens. Nah, man, that's
It
crazy.
is, man.
That's crazy.
That's what Charles might have been doing on the formation.
Maybe.
Because it seemed like he was distracted or something. I don't know.
He's racing to get to that yacht. When the sun for his winter break, he's like, forget this.
Oh my god, do you remember when Kimi crashed out of one of his races in Monaco, and instead of him going back to the pits, he went straight on his yacht?
Where else is he gonna go?
Do you know? Do you guys
You
not
might as
remember?
I don't
This was
remember, but he might as well. He
time
might as
ago.
well. Where else is he gonna
He
go?
crashed out in Monaco. They
You
took
might as
his
well.
car back to the pit lane. He was on a yacht. He didn't go back. He didn't go back. He was just chilling on a yacht with
That's
his friends.
the way. That's why. This is why Monaco's one of my favourite races. That's the way to do it. Just, you know what? Yeah, I had a bad day.
Yeah,
so let
fuck
me just
the
chill on my
rules.
yacht and feel better about myself.
Because who's gonna beat him? Like, who's gonna slap him? No one's gonna slap him.
Ask
Why
us
me
then.
first? Yeah, y'all do. Yeah, who was your star boy? Simone? 'Cause I can't. I can't give you one.
Oh really? I did think long and
struggling.
hard about it, but I tried to think in advance of us recording.
Okay,
as well.
Chanise, who's
'Cause
your
you-
star boy?
I don't know, because normally I'm like, oh, it could be this person. I don't know. What about this person? I can never make a decision. But this time, I'm actually going to go with Alonso, because as much as I wanted Perez to get on the podium, I think Alonso gave a much better drive and did deserve it better. And he admitted how tired he was afterwards and whatever.
Because he's old.
Yeah, but you know what? He still gave it a brilliant go. And I thought, yeah, I think Alonso is trying to claw it back a little bit for Aston Martin. And there's not going to be much clawing back, but he's trying.
Did anyone?
More than
Sorry,
Lance Stroll.
segue. Did anyone see Lance Stroll in third?
What, for like a mere lap?
Yeah, and I was just like, what happened here?
Everyone crashed out. That's what was happening.
I was like, oh my god, Lance.
Girl, did you not see when Lance overtook Lewis?
Yeah, but I was
No.
like,
I
Lance,
I
you
let
don't even want
out-
to come to work. What happened?
I let out a scream.
I know. What,
Do you know
what
them
happened.
banshee type scream? That's the kind of scream I let out when Lance overtook.
But guys,
Lewis.
I know what happened. He listened to our podcast. Because you remember last week when we were cussing him out saying, oh, he needs to turn up to work. I told you every time we say something on the podcast, the drivers just seem to go by what we're saying, you know?
So you think Lance was like, you know what? I have got a mortgage to pay. I have got the 10 kids to look after.
Well,
even though I'm 25,
he
I look
has
45.
no mortgage and he doesn't...
We don't know
he
if he
has
did.
no mortgage for sure. His dad's definitely paid that up. I don't think he has 10 kids unless... What are they called when you don't announce your kids? Are they hush babies or something? What's the word?
Like
What's
a love child.
a love child, that's hush baby. Yeah, a love child. Unless he's got a love child, I don't think he's got 10 kids. So.
I think his dad threatened to take him out the wheel.
No, I think maybe his dad threatened to take him out of F1.
I don't think he cares.
His dad is leaving F1 anyway. The rumours are there. He's going to sell Aston Martin. Lance is tired of driving Formula One.
Full stop.
Lance, his dad's probably going to buy an NFL team and Lance is going to play quarterback. That's what's going to happen next.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Lance gonna play
he's gonna
quarterback.
start dating someone like, I don't know, Katy
Nicki
Perry.
Minaj.
Yeah.
That boy can have whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He can have whatever he wants. He'll be dating Nicki Minaj. There we go.
That's hilarious.
Same baby daddy.
My
Oh.
Playing
Stop.
baby daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His
My-
next project.
His next project. You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's Black China. Carry on.
You know what? I would actually not that I'd be here for it, but I would watch. You know how like Kylie's with Timothy, what is it, Chalamet?
Oh, yeah.
I
Chalamet?
don't know.
Yeah. I'm kind of, everyone's cussing about their relationship, but I kind of, there's something about it I find quite endearing.
No, I'm not into them people.
Timothy and Kylie
Not
Jenner.
doing that.
I just feel like, whoa, how the hell has this guy managed to pull that one off?
Because the
Maybe
Kardashians...
he's got an anaconda.
No.
Well, no, I think he
It's
does.
not-
No. I think he does, because there's this whole thing about him and Pete Davidson, like these two, like...
Anaconda
you-
dope.
I honestly
My-
think he might do.
I believe Pete Davidson though. I believe Pete Davidson 100%. But we also got to remember the Kardashians are now over black men. So you know.
Oh yeah,
they
they're
wanna
like
pick
they're
up.
like white now.
Yeah, they're like the white men now.
But anyway,
So, yeah,
back to Formula One. So my star boy was or is my French baby, Pierre Gasly.
Oh my God.
Do you know what?
really?
Yeah.
You know what? Listen,
Yeah.
he started 15th
Yeah.
and he finished 7th. All right.
Yeah. I mean, how many people crashed out?
It doesn't matter how many people. Ew.
Five?
I don't want to say.
Okay, yeah, let me see.
Oh my
yeah.
God, I've got another contender for should have stayed at home.
Okay, let me just finish talking about
Yeah,
my
I was
French
gonna say,
babes.
who now?
But yes, my star boy is Pierre Gasly because I think he had a decent race. To be fair, what?
I feel like until she says it, we're not gonna get.
I know you're not laughing at my French babes.
No, well, you know I love Pierre. I love Pierre.
That's my baby, man. My little French
Yeah.
croissant.
Do you know what? You see Oscar Piastri, yeah?
Babe.
That was sad. That was really sad.
Because you know what the thing is, yeah.
If you're gonna say you should have stayed at home, I'm gonna disagree. But it was just.
It was sad for him
He's
because
my star boy.
What?
He's my star boy.
I didn't finish talking about Pierre.
Sorry,
Hang on.
I was like,
It's moving too fast.
sorry.
this was a whole episode.
I'm
Whatever
so
you.
sorry. I'm sorry. I've got real tears in my eyes. Just go on, Simone. Pierre Gasly.
You completely throw me off with this situation
I
here.
don't even know. So Pierre, what was
He started 15th
Yeah.
and he ended 7th. He
Ended
was even
7th.
doing fastest lap at one point.
Yeah.
And you know, Pierre had a decent race, had a decent weekend, and I was just like, you know, I'm actually quite happy for you. And he even because he was faster than Esteban. Are you laughing at this?
Yeah. You're right. Actually, you're right
I'm
there.
thinking about Piastri. I'm so sorry.
He was better than Ocon.
He was better.
Yeah,
than
and he
Ocon,
even
for
I think
sure.
they asked
The
he
whole
has to
weekend.
swap, and they swapped him around and swapped cars positions
Yeah.
on track because he was fastest. And Pierre, I'm happy for you. Next season, obviously, I do want to see more, but he deserves my little star boy.
It's not up to Pierre next season. It's up to Alpine and their shit car.
It is,
It's
but
up to Alpine.
we'll see. Right, Anita, talk because
Okay, I'm
you
so
look like you're
sorry.
bursting.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, it's just I find it so funny how he was a lap down.
Oh my god!
When
When they
the
started the race,
Oh my
him and
God.
Daniel, they were already behind. They were already
That is
behind.
so
It killed me because like the FIA, like honest to God, like fuck the FIA for real. They restarted that race knowing that
They had to come in.
I am gonna piss myself. I'm gonna piss myself, please, Lord. Knowing that they were one lap behind, and no one knew until on the board it said
Plus one lap. It said plus 1 lap, and then Dave was like, "Listen," Bobsy was like, "They are plus 1 lap." They were getting lapped. Imagine getting lapped, and you just started the race. That is really sad.
And the
Carry on.
reason- Do you know what? It's fucking hilarious because my thing is AlphaTauri and McLaren kept them in the race when they could have just easily retired them.
Because
Save
their
their power
their
unit.
cars were
I
fucked.
wondered why. Because in the end, they basically just retired George, and I was thinking, why didn't McLaren? You just
They
put
should
Oscar
just
out here for what?
And do you know what? It kills me because he broke his rear wing, right?
And
it
they
takes,
said they thought they couldn't fix it,
right.
Yeah.
It takes
Which they couldn't.
ages to
which they
fix your
couldn't.
rear
That's why
wing.
he was so slow.
It's not even that he was basically trialing the tires for Lando, who was battling for first. I'm thinking, how can you do this to this poor boy? This
Sad.
poor boy. He was trialing the mediums. He was like, yeah, the mediums don't feel too good.
But I think though, if you know you're not going to win, then fine, use the other car and the other row in some sort of strategy, preparing then. Because Lando could have been fighting for first. Do you know what I mean?
That man
So
did.
actually, okay, if you want to test him out while you're on the track, then you might as well.
The thing is, though, during the red flag, when the cars were coming into the pits after Magnussen and Alex Albon crashed out, they even said, like, Oscar, we're going to have to retire the car. We're going to have to get out of the car. So the fact that they came to the conclusion at that point,
Yeah.
by the way, we are just, like, maybe just done 1 lap at this point. Yeah, because they've just gone round. You could have really said to yourself, let's just forget the rest of the day. Because you actually did say that. You said it. So the fact that you thought, actually, we have enough time to try and fix it and put them back out again was such a waste of time. The tyre bounced on Daniel's car. His rear wing was broke up.
Sis,
Ugh.
Piastri went soft, medium soft because he was trialing the tires for Lando. I could not believe what I was hearing on their radio. They're like, so how's the medium tire looking?
You know when you get
I don't
used?
You're like, you are being slutted out. For
You know when you
your
get
teammate.
used?
I couldn't believe it. And then Daniel Ricciardo at the end of the race was like, because I'm an asshole, fuck the FIA. I was like, fuck them, because what? They made them come in, do a whole fix of their cars, for them to go out and be 1 lap behind. That's a dickhead thing. But anyway,
Yeah. Did you say your star boy?
Shanice
it was
said
Alonso.
Alonso.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're basically on to Vegas.
Not
Who's
next week, the week after.
excited? I'm excited.
I am, but also I'm not looking forward to this race because it is definitely a situation of
Red Bull winning.
yeah.
And if it's not a Red Bull 1-2, then I will be cussing. Perez will be my should have stayed at home if he does not finish second, because that track is made for Red Bull.
Absolutely.
I'm more excited actually about the celebrity spotting because I think we
know.
already know who's going to win the race, and I don't think there's going to be that many surprises, but hopefully there will be. Let's see.
I think everybody is waiting and destined for this season to be over with. Like I'm tired. I'm tired.
The thing, it depends on who everybody is. Because McLaren fans are probably loving this right now.
That is
And
true.
big
But
up them.
I'm over it. Like over it. Like I think that car that Mercedes has, like you don't even put that in the museum with the rest of your cars. Pretend that it didn't happen. Just erase this season out of your minds.
But then
And let's
put it
start
where they
again.
put the W13, man. They put the W13 in their reception, so
Just
the
forget it.
employees
Just
can
forget it
remember.
out of your mind because the car is crap. Like it's just so shit.
I won't lie, that it gave me some good moments this year. So I'm not gonna cuss out the W14.
You know
Just a little
how
bit.
My brain is basically always melting out my ear and I can never remember a thing. I honestly can barely remember a thing from the season.
Really?
What, from W14? I
From
think
this
like the first
season?
few races were like Lewis, Fernando,
Yeah.
Verstappen, Lewis,
Yeah.
Fernando,
I know,
Perez,
and a bit
Lewis,
of
Fernando.
Yeah.
Perez, yeah.
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 So I feel like they
but
were
then
up
there was a
there.
bit in
They
the
were
middle.
fighting.
You know where like we had a bit of a break, like around like April time, and then we missed Italy because of the floods. And
yeah.
there was a time around there where with the beginning of the season, the end of the season, I can remember. There's like some bits in the middle, like Australia maybe.
Australia,
Maybe
Lewis had a podium, I think. No?
Do you remember Monaco?
I remember a bit of Monaco.
Yeah, Lewis was second in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like the W14, like it wasn't that bad. Like it's not been that bad.
Pardon? Are we talking about the same car?
W14 has not been that bad.
Huh?
It's not-
That
Lewis
pile
got
of black
podium.
shit that they're driving around in.
He got a podium in Canada. He got a podium in.
Let me tell you, that car is not. It's not the one.
Silverstone. He got a podium in Hungary. No, he
Well, you
didn't.
just
not
Sorry,
Hungary.
Sorry,
this off
excuse me,
now.
excuse me.
Not Hungary, my bad.
What did they win?
They didn't win nothing. But-
Exactly. They didn't win nothing.
Yeah, but Max has won 17 races.
it's disgusting.
17
It's
races.
disgusting.
Who else has won? Signs? That's it.
Oh, yeah,
That's it.
Signs. Yeah.
And that's because
Let's
Max
end
had
on
a-
that positive note. Actually, I forgot. Yeah, the only other person is Signs.
Yeah, he's the only other person that has won a
Yes.
Grand Prix
That's
race.
good for my team Ferrari.
Bro,
to
like,
win.
come on, man.
I don't like
W14
that
weren't
car.
that
I'm
bad.
sorry. The car has been.
W14 or W13? Which one?
Which
They're
one's
both
better?
terrible,
Yeah, which one
though.
will you choose?
You know what?
Fair.
Last season there was a lot of porpoising. There was a lot of there's a lot of bumping. There's a lot of bumps in the road.
Bro, I'm
I
telling
would take
you.
this. I would take this one, but I'm not completely sold.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, we look forward to Las Vegas, everyone. We know that it will be an entertaining one in terms of the whole race weekend, whatever it brings out, and whoever comes out. We know we're going to see stars. I'm looking to see some good performers. But the race itself, we know it's going to be a Red Bull situation. And like Chanise said, it'd be nice if it was a Red Bull 1 and 2 because Perez, you actually do need to drive to survive. And if you want a career, if you want to keep on, being in Formula 1, I suggest you do that in Las Vegas. Or boy, it's going to be a messy one for you. And I actually wonder if there's going to be any sort of situations where it's like a Hangover Part 4. Have you not seen Hangover the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
who's going to be hungover?
No, not obviously after the race, but I want to see if there's any situations like that. The stories that they were telling. I know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but
Well,
I
yes.
was more waiting on that for like Abu Dhabi because I feel like that's the end of the season. So if there's going to be any drama or stories coming out, it's going to be like after.
no, but Vegas, baby, come on,
Come on, man. All the bad bitches are in Vegas.
come on.
You know what I'm
You got
saying?
strippers, you got
All the bad bitches are in
you,
Vegas.
you got gambling.
Okay, yeah,
You
fair
got
enough. I'm kind of
everything.
excited.
Hey,
yeah,
you
okay.
see, I bet Daniel Ricciardo is going to be a talking point.
He's
gonna be doing some
stuff.
He's
They've
gonna be
got
doing
a
some
break,
shit.
haven't they? There's like a weekend break between Vegas and Abu Dhabi, or at least
No,
a
it's
weekend.
now.
It's now.
The break is now.
The break is now, and then
Then
Oh,
it's the
so
double
they are
header.
back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, they can't be carrying on too wild.
Girl,
They
Lewis
can't, are you
Hamilton back in
joking?
the day would be clubbing the night before Pete practice one. Come on.
Oh.
That man, please, they're all capable. Every single one of them. I just hope it's Max that's gambling and wasted and doing hangover part one.
Ugh.
Because, yeah, if it's Max, then maybe someone else could win.
Maybe it'll be Checo.
Really?
Anyway, let's end on a positive, guys. Hopefully, you'll hear us next week.
Because that's how next year, yeah,
Do you
I'll be wearing my
remember
Max
last
Verstappen
week?
cap.
I was trying so hard to think about what the hell are we going to finish on
What?
next episode.
This girl
All right,
said
guys.
next season.
See y'all next week. Woo!